Does it ever feel like you're doing everything just right, but you're still just wandering in the dark? You're spinning your wheels, jumping from one thing to the next, yet the results never seem to match your efforts. Well, this isn't about your business strategy or what's on your to do list. I'm talking about the kind of busy work that leaves you completely exhausted, so tired that no amount of sleep can ever fix it. It's the disconnect you feel when you no longer recognize yourself. And on top of that, you find yourself forgetting why you even started this entrepreneurial journey in the first place. And that tension you've been carrying is a signal to you. I think it's a gentle nudge from within that you've been drifting away from your true essence. But hear me on this, you aren't failing, you're just out of alignment. Hi, I'm Zakiyyah. I'm a writer and I help purpose driven solopreneurs and aspiring founders stop performing and start leading their personal brands from a place of truth. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to stop the hustle that's draining you and finally find your way back to yourself so that you can lead your brand with more ease and confidence. Today, we're going to focus on three core elements that are indispensable for finding clarity. These are the internal recalibrations that bring your brand back into focus and pull you back from the brink of near exhaustion. Because the truth is, real growth doesn't start with trying to hustle harder, it starts from clarity within. And let's be honest, we've been conditioned to chase visibility when what we actually need is just clarity. And when that clarity is missing, the only thing left is the hustle. So you default to playing the role of the unstoppable business owner whose day-to-day takes on a hectic life of its own because you think that's what success is supposed to look like. But if you are a purpose-driven solopreneur, that performance is exactly what's holding you back because the more you grind and overextend yourself, that's when more fog sets in. And you end up chasing algorithms and imitating others instead of simply being yourself. So pause and understand that your personal brand isn't a mask that you put on and take off when convenient. It should be a natural extension of yourself and your purpose, one that's authentic and deeply rooted in who you truly are. And to help you get there, I'm going to walk you through the three core elements of an authentic personal brand. Although not comprehensive, these elements are foundational to helping you bring you back to center. First, we'll clarify your intention, then we'll talk about your values, and finally, we'll uncover your voice. Because once you're crystal clear on these elements, you can start showing up as the remarkable woman your business and your audience have been waiting for. For a long time, I thought growth was about intensity, the grind. I thought that if I actually put in more hours and polished the look of my marketing materials or posted more often, everything would click and I'd be a lot further along in business. Well, the truth is I was actually just drifting and constantly in my head, feeling overwhelmed and going through the motions, without any real direction. But despite being out there, something still felt off. And honestly, as an introvert, that kind of constant visibility never felt right for me. Then I realized that while visibility is important, it doesn't have to look like everyone else's. I can still build a strong, successful brand in a way that fits who I am. And for me, that meant stripping away the performance and getting honest about my intention, my values, and my voice. This allowed my brand to genuinely reflect me instead of a tired, fabricated version of myself. And I'm sharing this because when you embody your brand through these key elements, you naturally attract the right people, and the pressure, the confusion, and that constant grind, all of it begins to lift. As we break down the three core elements, I'll also share a simple exercise for each one to help you look inward, see where you stand so you can identify where you might want to actually make a change. And my goal is to get you to a place where you can drop the act and actually show up as the creative force your personal brand was always meant to be. All right, let's get going. The first core element is your intention. This is about knowing the why behind every move you make. It's the difference between posting just to be seen and sharing something of value that truly hits home. It's what I like to call the secret sauce that turns staying busy into purposeful action. Think of it as the line between a brand that's just a facade and one that has a true pulse, a genuine reason for being that's unmistakably yours. Let's try this simple exercise to help you clarify your intention. Now, before you post anything this week, ask yourself, am I sharing this for validation or for transformation? Are you looking for a superficial like or a follow just to be seen in someone else's feed? Or is your goal to bridge the gap between your inner purpose and a brand that truly resonates deeply with your audience? Because the moment you start leading with intention, you'll begin to see the difference in every decision you make. You'll step away from the endless trends and those comparisons and distractions and move towards a brand that will command attention because it actually has something meaningful to say. And every decision, every action, every message will carry volition rather than obligation because it's no longer about you. It's about the people you're here to serve. And that's when your personal brand will stop being a performance and the right people will finally begin to connect with you and trust the work you do. The second core element is your values. I like to think of our values as the backbone of decision making. It's a living extension of what you stand for, how you think, and why your work as a purpose led solopreneur actually matters. But in the noise of everyone else's expectations and best practices, it's really easy to start chasing trends or algorithms. And that's when your brand starts feeling hollow, and that's where burnout actually creeps in. So, to help you clarify your values, let's try this exercise. Write down 3 things you will never do in your business, even if it guaranteed overnight success. What lines will you simply not cross? What are your non negotiables? Because staying true to your values isn't just for someday when things are easier, and they certainly don't disappear when things get uncomfortable. Knowing your boundaries and when to say no is the absolute fastest way to find your true resonant yes. Because when you're clear about your values, the changes you'll experience will be profound. You will stop pouring energy into collaborations, campaigns, or platforms that drain you, and your day will be easier because it's not just about efficiency, it's about staying true to your integrity. And as your business scales, your work will remain an authentic reflection of your values and the difference you want to make. Voice isn't just about words, it's the consistent personality and vibe you project every time you show up. But unfortunately, many business owners end up creating a shield instead of a bond, which makes them invisible to their audience and it creates a brand that feels really shallow. Many fear that if you show up as the real, unfiltered version of yourself, people won't view you as legit. And ironically, that's when you lose your voice and your connection. Let's try this exercise to clarify your voice. When you have a few moments, grab your phone so you can actually record a voice memo, let's say to a friend. Now explain your business idea like you're sitting at brunch together. Don't hunt for the right words or, the professional lingo, just talk. And when you're done, play it back and notice how different you sound when you're not trying so hard. That messy version, that's your real voice. And that's the version people will actually connect with. And the breakthrough you'll see, your voice will finally feel like your own. Because the most draining part of personal branding isn't showing up, it's trying to sound like someone you're not. And when you find your voice, everything changes. You stop overthinking every word. You stop rehearsing who you think you should be, and you focus on what actually needs to be said. And once your voice aligns with your purpose, the act fades. You lead, you connect, and you show up authentically because your brand becomes a natural extension of who you are. What we've touched on today is only just the beginning. These 3 core elements, intention, values, and voice, are the roots that anchor your brand, keeping you from slipping back into old patterns of performing instead of just being. And remember, exhaustion and burnout aren't just from busy schedules. They're symptoms of a brand built on pressure instead of purpose. And moving forward, we'll explore every layer of building a personal brand that's deeply aligned with your vision so you can grow your reach and impact without losing your soul. And as you think about your brand, where do you crave more clarity? I love to know, so drop a comment. And by the way, I've put together a free ebook to help you get crystal clear about your personal brand. The link is in the description below. I really appreciate you being here. Embody your ethos, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Ciao.